Today I want to talk to you about a very important internet resource program. It's entitled Find a Grave. And the reason it's so important is on this particular site, for free, you can find over 100 million grave sites that have been posted there by cooperators of this particular program. We have discovered the importance of this for our particular Upchurch program, and I want to bring to you some of the details today about how important Find a Grave is. Over 1,000 people visit it each day, many thousands of people. But before telling you about the details, let's go back a little bit and think about our Upchurch history and how we started out in the horse and buggy days. In the 1950s, of course, we were working just with paperwork and telephones. But over the years, we came to realize that computers would be helpful, and we started out first with just computers. And then in due course, we got to the point that we actually had our own website. And we've continued to improve that, making startling discoveries and improvements. For example, we have now over 4,000 pages of the Upchurch Bulletin published on this website and searchable. And more recently, we have come into the business of making 15-minute videos, of which this is one, and have we linked those to our website as well. So these are two very extremely powerful advances we've made in moving Upchurch history into the modern world. So now let's look at what Find a Grave can do for us. I need to describe to you a little bit about this program, more than I've already told you. And I'll have to confess up front that I have used the information of our cousin Billy Mills in Georgia, who is actually an expert on this program, and he has coached me by phone and email about how to move ahead with it. And I hope to tell you a little bit about how you get it done. I can't do it all today, so this is strictly an introduction to Find a Grave. Well, I have to tell you how it works. It's all done by volunteers, and there are thousands upon thousands of volunteers who just take it upon themselves to find grave sites, graveyards and grave sites, and monuments to people who have passed away that are not posted on Find a Grave, and they take it upon themselves to become cooperators of Find a Grave and to begin to enter grave sites. Some people do this sort of just as a thing to get done and to help people, and some people may have as many as 10,000 entries like this. Each entry is called a memorial, and a memorial simply is an entry of material and information about a particular individual in a particular cemetery, which tells, insofar as possible, where the cemetery is and as much information as is known about the particular individual, birth and death date being two key items. But other information can be entered as well. Now, they're very particular about this, so if someone gets busy and starts entering a grave site that another person's already entered, the people who run Find a Grave frown on you very strongly. As a matter of fact, if you commit enough infractions, they'll just bar you from the site altogether, and you won't like that because there are other implications to you being barred from that site. So what I'm saying is that if you become a cooperator, you will need to follow the rules very carefully, and I will illustrate a few of those for you in this video. Now, we need to think about what it does for our particular website. There are two things that are done in particular that are extremely useful, and I hope we can proceed to create many memorials, either directly that I might create or that cousin Billy Mills might create, or that any other individuals collaborating with Upchurches and allied families might enter as memorials and link them to our activity. The first thing you can do is we can link a given memorial that's found on the internet that we create to our videos. So if we create a video for a particular Upchurch or member of the broader family, which might not have the name Upchurch, we can link that memorial directly to that video. But in the case of an individual that we don't have a direct video on, we can link this particular video we're making today to a given memorial. Now, the other thing one can do is link the memorial to our website. There's a trick to doing this. So what this does in the end is if we end up creating 1,000 or more memorials, there'll be 1,000 cases where someone can have the opportunity of coming upon the fact that our Upchurch program had something to do with generating that, and that will lead the people to our website and to our videos and to further interaction with them, because obviously if we enter this memorial and they have found it, we have a common mutual interest. Now I'd like to give you more of a specific example of how this works. And let's take, for example, our ancestor James Upchurch I, who was born in 1685. Now he was the head of the James Upchurch I tribe of the family, which goes way back because he was a grandson of Michael Upchurch. And what he does is we have a video specifically on him. So what we would do is create a memorial for him, which we have done, and I'll show that to you shortly. And then we would link that memorial to his video. Now, that is a very powerful tool, and we will look forward to doing this over and over again and hope will redound to the benefit of our family history program. So now let's turn to the computer and have a little bit more in the way of illustrations of how this works in practice. I'll turn here to my reliable computer, and I'll enter in the spot up here, findagrave. F-I-N-D-A-grave. I'm not very fast and not always a good speller, but this gives me an option. Now there's several places you can check, and you would soon find the right one to check to lead you to something that's productive. But this is going to lead me to a findagrave search form, and you can tell from this that they know who I am already, because it over here says I logged in as Phil Upchurch. And of course, as you become a cooperator, you will be shown as logged in as yourself. Now let's take a look at my particular site. If I click on this, I could use this form to locate a particular individual if I wanted to, and we can illustrate that. But first, let's go click on Phil Upchurch, and what it will show is my list of contributions, and it shows here that I have personally added 51 memorials, and that I'm actually managing 92 memorials. Now, how is it you get to manage more memorials than you create? Well, here's a list of messages, and so far I only have one message. Someone had already created a memorial for my father, Robert Jefferson Upchurch. This person was named D&D Fletcher. And through the system, I sent a request that they transfer the management of that website to me, which they did. And that can be done in a conventional way. So let's just click on this D&D Fletcher and see what we learn about that individual. Well, here he is, D&D Fletcher. It turns out this person has created 18,899 memorials. And so you see, they're not all relatives of that individual. They're simply in the business of being helpful to the community and posting as many as they can. And if they posted your grandfather, you can send a message to ask that to be transferred to you to manage. Now, well, we'll go back to Phil Upchurch and let's look at another thing. Let's take the 92 memorials I've managed, and I'll just click on that, and it shows my list. And it tells you who they are and the birth and the death date and the cemetery they're located in. So let's just pick the first one, Alexander Jenny K. Click on that, and their memorial shows up. There's Jenny K. Alexander, born in 1866, died in 1942. And since I created these or am managing them, I'm allowed to edit these, but no one else can edit them. They can make suggestions to me. Now, let's see what this does for us. In the case of this Jenny K. Alexander, we've clicked on her, and now I can go to the little spot where it says created by Phil Upchurch, and if I click on that, it takes me to this site and where it lists all of my entries, and it shows my website. So if I click on this, upchurchstory.com, lo and behold, it takes you to the Upchurch website. So that's plus number one. Well, we'll need to get out of that, and I'll need to go back to another. I lost my cursor. There we go. And I'll go back to this, and I'll go back to Find the Grave again. And now let's look up a particular individual. Since we talked about cousin Billy Mills, let's go to an individual that he posted, and that's William Henry Mills. Now, okay, I'm going to look for William Henry Mills. William and Henry and Mills. Yes. Now, let me tell you a little trick. You got to sort of outwit computers. Now, I could list all this information if I knew it about where he was born, died, memorial, where the cemetery was. But I happen to know that he was born in 1872, so that's the only thing I'm going to enter. He's born in 1872, because I happen to know there are a whole fistful of people named William Henry Mills, but I only want the one. So then, with that small amount of information, I click on search, and lo and behold, there's the particular William Henry Mills that I was looking for. Now, if if I click on that, it'll bring up the full memorial. There's the memorial. And now this is created, maintained by William Mills, originally created by L.Y. Roth. See, so someone else had created this to begin with, and Cousin Billy had it transferred to him, so he's now managing it. And so this is his ancestor. And so there's a picture of the ancestor that he's added to the memorial. And look at the additional information he's added. He shows family links, such as parents, his spouse, and even the children. So you see, you can add considerable amount of information. And of course, if you went to William Mills, now he did not leave a contact. Now some people have contacts and some don't. Well, we need now to go to at least one other site. Let's go to our James Upchurch. Let's see if I can. I want to go back to where I can search for someone. There we are. I'm going to say begin a new search. So that gets rid of all that stuff. See how smart I'm getting? You know, when you don't know this stuff, you think you're pretty dumb, and then when you learn a little bit, you think everybody else is dumb and I'm smart, even with this little thing that I learned. All right, let's go back to the James Upchurch we talked about. James Upchurch. Now, this is a little tricky because there are a lot of people named James Upchurch. But I happen to know, of course, that this guy was born in 1685, and there wouldn't have been many Upchurches born in 1685. So if I just type in that with any luck, when I click on search, it'll bring him up. Let's see if it, yes, there it is, James Upchurch the First, head of, he doesn't say so, but we know he's head of the James Upchurch One tribe of the family. But let's go beyond that now and look at the full memorial. There he is, born in Surrey County, Virginia, died in Brunswick County, Virginia. Now, here's the little trick. See this? It says, for further information about James Upchurch the First, click here. Now, that's something the person that creates or manages the memorial has to enter. And what do we, let's see what we get when we get to more information. Click here. Lo and behold, you have come up with the James Upchurch One video. So now we'll shut that down because we don't need to hear that, and we'll go back to our Google Chrome. So I hope we have illustrated the power of Find a Grave, and we hope that there will be dozens and dozens of our collaborators that will begin to make their own entries, and that wherever possible they will show a linkage to our website as well as to any particular video that would be relevant. And of course, if they'd like to just transfer that to our Upchurch project, we will be glad to accept those for management purposes, and that will allow us to continue to add additional information to them. We're tremendously excited about this Find a Grave program. It's a free site, and it welcomes collaborators, and I hope you will become one of those.